I was sipping on those Diet Coke and lemons. Everyone else is having a drink, and there's me with my Diet Coke and lemon. Oh, it's so crisp though, especially after a long day. Forget it. Oh. Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. James from Pipe Doctor Home Services, and Derek and I are here to replace this triangle tube 56-gallon indirect water heater that is leaking from the domestic coil to the heating side, causing this relief valve that's connected to a hose, a garden hose, to go into this ejector pump. Came here the other day, quoted it, and now we're here to replace it. Now, I'm having Derek look at the water heater, right? So he just asked me, should I go get the hose and the pump? And I said yes, but we have one tiny issue.
Has no
It's got
boiler drain?
no boiler drain. Yes. Well, that's the thing. There's two different drains it's missing. We have no drain on the return piping at the bottom of the unit, and we also have no boiler drain. Now, they went out of business for good reason. So we are going to have to suck the water up and out of the top of this thing. Yeah, Derek's face right now. Cooked. We're also going to be, the contractor put this on. He went from 1/2 inch to 3/4 because he put a domestic expansion tank on the hydronic boiler. We're going to put a new relief valve on. We're going to be putting a new domestic mixing valve on the water heater, and then we're also going to be putting a thermal expansion tank on the water heater just to bring everything up to code. We're putting in a titanium TT55 that has 2 anode rods on the side. We'll also be making sure that when we pipe it in, we're bringing our cold water down and our return down. They're both going to have boiler drains on them, so that when future James comes back to replace this thing in like 10 or 15 years, I'll be thanking myself. I'm sure many of you know what I am setting up and prepping after that discussion we just had. Does not look or sound good. Yo, Derek, shut that light switch off. Right there. Yo, come look at this. Come on my side. Remember, I prefer you on top. Yo, look at the steam, at the smoke coming out from the light bulb.
Oh, I see.
Cooked. I'm not letting. I'd rather work in the dark than catch on fire. So for those of you that guess that this is what I was gonna do, great job. Derek, have you ever done this? To pump down a water heater?
Yeah.
Stuck a piece of PEX on it with a boiler drain?
No.
Forget which one it is. Mike or Daniel beat me up for not knowing off the top of my head, but it's the McLean, their Indirect. It's the gold. I can't remember the specific one. Same thing. And that thing's also just heavy as hell. If you want, you can just stick the hose right into that pump. You should be able to put that on the floor. Perfect. Okay. This whole thing is just a mess. Everything here. All right, fire in the hole. You got water? And the only thing with this is it's hard to drain it 100% down, but whatever. At least if we can get it to maybe just a couple gallons left, I'll be happy with that. And then the heating side piping will drop the pressure. We'll shut off the other zones, and then we'll open up our indirect to drop the pressure, and then we'll just cut it, let it drain into a bucket, and do it like that. This thing is only 3 years old. And look at that corrosion. It's insane. Okay, so we got the domestic side fully drained down for the most part. I have the other heating zones isolated, but then I have the one for our indirect open because there's no drain on the return side. So I got to open up the return and just drain the whole boiler, which I have to anyway for the expansion tank and the relief valve. But it's crazy because it sounds like it's running if you listen. But all that is that since I'm draining down the heating side, that leak between the coil is sucking in air to break the vacuum for it to drain. So that's where that noise is coming from, which is weird. So we're gonna go unbox the new one while it continues to do that. So this way we are being super efficient. This is how we like to work. Sure this morning, but Mike, if you're watching, it does come with the Aquastat. You know, because the triangle tube that we're taking out has the clip-on wire harness at the top, so it's got a built-in Aquastat at the top of the unit. So I could not remember for the life of me, because the last titanium I put in was when I first started here with Daniel, and so I could not remember whether it came with the oh my god, Aquastat. Had a brain fart there for a moment. Now, the one thing I should have picked up was a brass tee for the top, which I didn't. But we'll sort that out. Stand her up. Yeah, there you go. Give her a little shimmy. Okay. Let me get my leg out. Yeah, we're gonna pick it up and turn it. Can you pick up your end? Okay. Good? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, don't worry. There you go. All right, here, stand it up. Derek's cooked today, bro. We went out to eat at Zaga last night, the four of us. I was sipping on those Diet Coke and lemons. Everyone else is having a drink, and there's me with my Diet Coke and lemon. Oh, it's so crisp, though. Especially after a long day. Forget it. Oh. Having some sushi rolls with the boys. That sesame chicken, holy moly. Yeah, so good. It's so crisp. Right? Alright, we're just gonna leave it over here for now. And then we'll get the new one, or the old one, out of here. I know you're not going to be able to really get much of it, but give me a sec. I'm assuming you don't want to keep the old one, right?
Unless you can sell it for us.
Yeah, it's about $30 worth of scrap is what we'll get. Gotta have fun. Right there. Okay, so I am just currently getting my adapters made up on this Indirect so I can have a feel for how I want to orient it, because I got to keep in mind that these two anode rods, I want to have them accessible, because this client did purchase our plumbing maintenance agreement. So every 3 years, they'll get the anode rods replaced at a heavily discounted rate. So I want to keep that in mind, because I will be the one that's coming back to do that. So It's just the orientation of everything is always so like wonky on these things. The only thing I was thinking is if I do it like that, then I got to bring everything forward and into it. But if I rotate it, because I got my domestic cold water down here because that comes in at the bottom. Our aquastat port is right here. So I got to keep all of that in mind. There's never a perfect way of doing this. So I'll show you guys what I come up with in a moment. I turn the tank about 45 degrees so that, you know, this corner is facing forward. So our aquastat's on an angle, and then I'm able to connect my supply and return piping, but I still have room to pull out the anodes on each side, which is great. Up top, I have Derek right now just taking a little trip to our headquarters because I forgot to order a 3/4 inch brass T to screw onto the top tapping. It's male thread sticking out of the unit, and I need the relief valve to plunge down into the unit, the probe, or else if I don't have a brass T, I'm gonna have to do male adapter T, or female adapter T, female adapter, which kind of looks like poo. I won't be excited to do that, but if I have to do it, then so be it. But if I can do it the right way with that, and we have it at the shop, fantastic. My goal is I need to build a tray out of 1/2 inch and 3/4 brass fittings, just a couple of each, a couple elbows, a couple couplings, a couple T's, just so in scenarios like this I'll also remember in the future. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. This 1 by 1/2 inch T is going to be for a boiler drain. You know, I give props to the contractor with the relief valve leaking on the boiler. He put a new relief valve and he switched an expansion tank. Unprops to him though for putting a domestic expansion tank and doing all of that to make it work. Okay, that's all done. Derek did find a T at the shop, so he's going to be on his way back here. We're only 2 minutes down the road from the shop, so he'll be coming back with that. But boiler piping's all done. I can't refill the boiler yet because I still need to change out that relief valve and that expansion tank. And I can start to pipe out the cold water for the unit. So we'll get that set up. We'll get a boiler drain on that side as well. We'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm doing my domestic piping. Derek came back with the brass T. So I have hot going out to the hot side of my mixing valve. The mix is going to the hot water supply leading to the house. Now I'm just setting up the T for the cold water. Might have to just elbow 45 into it and then drop down, pick up my drain. Derek, I got a question for you.
What's up?
I saw this on the internet for the first time the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently this was a big meme years ago. For unlimited money in your life, right? So if you choose to take the money, there will be a snail that follows you for your entire life, and if it touches you, you die. So like, you got to make sure that like you watch your back and you're on the move, but you have unlimited money. Are you doing it?
Yeah, I would. I'll kill the snail.
No, you can't.
Oh, I can't.
It's immortal. It's immortal.
It's immortal. Oh.
Yeah, and if it touches you, so like let's say,
how can you sleep? It's gonna touch.
Well, it's a snail, so it moves very slow. Right. So let's say you have unlimited money, so you fly from France to the United States to Japan to wherever, and it might take the snail 6 months to get to you, but like you don't ever know exactly where it is. So you got to make sure you're constantly. You doing it?
I would probably move.
I would do it too. Why not? We all have an end point anyway. And honestly, your best bet is to do it and continue working anyway, because the snail trying to navigate through the 5 towns with all the traffic and how people drive, there's no shot. You're good.
Too many Honda Odysseys.
No, for real. Too many Honda Odysseys. Leaned up against the wall here, so let's see if I can. Okay, so that's done. Oh, let me squeeze it out. Let me squeeze it out. Okay. So, this is the domestic piping done. I just need to get the 1/2-inch females on those T's down there, and get the boiler drains on. Here's our mixing valve. Now, we have shut-off valves over here, which is nice. And I'm assuming that at one point in time, there was a water heater right here. So my shut-off valves are over here, which is kind of nice, because if there's an issue over there, you could shut it from over here. That's why I didn't put any new valves over here. Valves are expensive, and it would have been a waste. With that being said, what I'm also going to be doing, though, is talking and doing stuff at the same time. What I'm also going to be doing is putting on the tap tee for the expansion tank, hanging it over here, because it's already kind of tight over here, and I don't need to take up more room in already confined space. So that's the plan for that, which I do have right here, a tap tee. So that's gonna go on. Sheesh, it's gonna be close. Unless I cut it, and then I can move it a little bit. All right, most important step is getting an idea what our incoming street pressure is. Just about 60. And the whole reason for that, which I've explained before in the past, just put their hose back on. Make sure you're always polite, even though it's missing a gasket and probably leaks when they run it. Our domestic expansion tank, that's going to be going on the water heater, right? They have a closed system in terms of how they receive their hot water. They don't have a tankless water heater that only fires when a faucet is open. So this Indirect is going to be producing hot water even when there's no use of hot water, right? Because it's just going to be maintaining whatever temperature we set to on the aquastat. So our domestic expansion tank, right, has a rubber diaphragm in the middle. There's air on one side, water on the other. So if our incoming street pressure is 60 pounds and the tank comes from the factory at 40 pounds, it's going to cause that diaphragm to bottom out more than staying, you know, dead center inside the unit. So it's not a perfect science, just because water pressure is always changing. It's not a static reading, right? It goes up and down throughout the day. It goes up at night. So just base it off of whatever it is at the house and set the expansion tank to it. It's better than not doing anything at all. So we could have, you see here we have pre-charge from the factory at just about 45.5 pounds, which my gauge is off by a pound, so 44.5. We should just say it comes pre-charged at 40, so you could see, you know, when it gets shipped, temperature change, all that fun stuff. But so we're gonna bump it up to 60. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do 60 psi. I have a label maker, but I ran out of the paper for it. I know, I'm not happy about that. And then we're gonna write 7, 10, 20, 26. Okay, so we got the expansion tank is on. The tap T for it has been pressed. I also added on a hanger, which of course now the rod is like crooked, but whatever. Just so that in the future if this fails, even though this is supported in other spots, just to have a little more to it. Derek just finished up. He added on my boiler drains. Fantastic. He just did the drip leg for the relief valve. I would love to strap this to it, but whatever. So yeah, so that's all done. I would love to like put pressure, temperature gauges on the outlet of the mixing valve, because it comes with this silly thing, and I don't know, it doesn't even stick to the pipe. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna introduce water into the system. No, we got that expansion tank to do. I'm gonna fill up the domestic side of the tank and get all the air out while Derek starts working on that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set our aquastat, wire it in. We're gonna set the tank to like around 140. We'll let it heat up, leaving the domestic hot water valve shut. So we'll let the tank heat up, then we'll open it, and we'll take our temperature readings at our faucets so we know how to adjust our mixing valve. The one thing that always gets me so nervous is the probe, like, breaking off. I don't know why it's a flathead. I really don't. I think with what year it is, we would have learned our lesson by now. There we go. It's not sitting right. It just doesn't make sense. Where is our old one? Okay, so we can see we had here the old plug and play wire harness that they didn't even bother closing back up properly. Really makes you wonder, and sometimes you have to just stop trying to wonder what someone's thought process was while they were doing something, because you'll drive yourself crazy, especially doing service. But yeah, we got the thermal or the hydronic expansion tank back on. Wonder if Derek has wire cutters in his bag. Check out the tool bag of Derek. It's like one of the nicest things he has in there. But yeah, so we got the expansion tank on. The water heater has water in it. It's filled. See any drips or leaks or anything? which is good. We're next going to pressurize the boiler and purge our heating zone for the boiler, for the indirect. Be nice to like zip tie this to this and come down. Let's do that first. You guys off of next so you can look at this. Hold on, ready? Look at that. That's so unfair. Yeah, that's coming from that. I can't believe that. It's not like I didn't make it up, it's made up. Wow, that's really frustrating. That's so unfair. Yeah, come look at this there. Yeah. That sucks. So I saw a TikTok. This is my second time doing this. But if you slice the press fitting with your multi-tool and obviously don't hit the pipe itself, you could pop it off and repress onto there. It's food for thought. It works. I've done it. It's held. Take this off. Derek, I don't know. I was only like 3 or 4 threads in. Yeah, don't go like overly crazy, but like do like 7 swipes. 6, 7. So I was getting annoyed because I know it's dark and it's hard for you guys to see. But we're trying to purge this thing. The supply's getting hot. And the return is just staying cold. And like I keep checking, I'm like, what the hell? So I switched the piping because I had admitted earlier that I had done it wrong. So that supply went into supply and return went to return. Put it back on, purged the crap out of it again, nothing. It's like there's gotta be something going on here. So the only other thing, I checked the circulator, it is drawing the proper amount of amps, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And it is scalding hot. So, I'm gonna swap out this circ and purge it again. And hopefully that should do it. We did our combustion analysis because the boiler did run for like a minute or 2 before it shut off because it's not circulating water. Just like literally this is how things have been going this week. Everything's smooth up until the end. Story of my life. So we'll swap out the circ. Steaming.
So that's it. It's like way too hot.
Okay, let's see. We are pumping up and away, and it is the correct orientation. Let's go. I don't have to adjust anything. Let me see this rag real quick so I can just wipe down the face. So I probably could have left the orientation of the piping
Before, right?
Yeah, even though it was wrong, I could have left it, but it doesn't matter because now it's right. And we like things to be right and sturdy and valid. Right there?
Yes. Super certified.
Salutations. Derek's been getting very cordial on us lately. Coming in the morning, hitting us with that salutations. Alright, I'll get this thing connected. Alright, so we're up and running. It was the circulator. I was purging and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I had the proper amp draw at the circulator, bless you. But sometimes having the proper amp draw doesn't necessarily mean anything. Yeah, that means that the motor is rotating at the correct amount it's supposed to be for the voltage it's receiving, but when we took that circulator out, the thing was steaming from the top. And what we did was, once we got the new circulator in, I purged it some more to get all the hot water out of the boiler to have it run cold. Now it's heating up. This is almost too hot to touch, and same with the return. So now we just finally can wait a couple minutes for the tank to get up to temperature so that we can adjust our mixing valve. So our domestic hot water output is 125 degrees. She's all done and good to go.